Relax now. There is nothing you need to do, nowhere you need to go, no thought that must be finished tonight. Allow your shoulders to soften. Let your jaw loosen. Feel the gentle weight of your body sinking into the place where you rest. Notice the slow rhythm of your breathing as it comes in quietly and leaves just as quietly, as if the night itself is breathing with you. With every breath out, imagine the day drifting farther away, like footsteps fading down a long stone corridor. And with every breath in, invite calm, cool, peaceful air to settle inside you, smooth and unhurried. You are safe. You are warm. You are allowed to rest. And when you feel ready, when your breathing feels slow and easy, our story today begins. Our story today begins at midnight, deep within the thick stone walls of an old medieval castle. A castle that has stood for centuries, patient and unmoving, watching seasons come and go, watching generations pass like quiet clouds. At this hour, the castle is mostly asleep. The great hall is dark, its long wooden tables empty, the echoes of daytime voices long gone, the hearth reduced to glowing embers that crackle only when they feel like it, softly, politely, as if they do not wish to disturb anyone. A gentle breeze moves through narrow arrow slits high in the walls, carrying the faint scent of night air, of damp earth, of distant trees resting beneath the stars. Somewhere deep inside the castle, hidden away from banners and armor and sleeping chambers, there is a well. This well is not grand or decorative. It was never meant to impress visitors or inspire songs. It was built for quiet reliability, for patience, for survival. Medieval castles were often built around their wells because water meant life. And this well has been here almost as long as the castle itself, carved down through layers of stone by steady hands that worked slowly, day after day, year after year. Now, at midnight, the well rests in near darkness. A single torch burns nearby, its flame low and steady, casting a warm, wavering glow that dances across the stone walls, the light reflecting softly on the smooth surface of the water far below. If you listen closely, you can hear it. A gentle drip. Plip. Plip. The sound of water meeting water, unhurried, unconcerned, following the same rhythm it has followed for hundreds of years. Imagine yourself standing here now, beside the well, the stone floor cool beneath your feet, the air slightly chilled but not uncomfortable, just enough to feel refreshing. The walls around you are thick and solid, holding the quiet close, muffling the outside world until nothing feels urgent anymore. You might notice how the torchlight flickers slowly, stretching shadows across the stones, shadows that move lazily as if they too are growing sleepy. The rope of the well hangs still, its fibers worn smooth by countless hands, hands of villagers, guards, cooks, servants, all drawing water in their own time, all trusting this well without ever really thinking about it. And now there is no one here but you. In medieval times, wells like this were engineering marvels, carefully placed, carefully protected, because during sieges when enemies waited outside the walls, this quiet shaft of water meant endurance, meant patience, meant calm persistence. As you stand here, you might imagine those long ago nights when a lone guard paused beside the well, listening to the same gentle echoes, finding comfort in the steadiness of water below. Let your breathing match that steadiness now. Inhale slowly. Exhale softly. Plip. Plip. Each sound seems to smooth the mind, like water smoothing stone over centuries, not rushing, not forcing, just quietly shaping calm, The stone walls around the well feel ancient, cool, and reassuring, carrying the memory of countless midnights just like this one, all peaceful, all still. Somewhere above, far beyond the well chamber, an owl might shift on a beam, feathers brushing wood with the softest whisper. Somewhere else, leaves rustle gently against the outer walls of the castle, moved by a breeze that knows it is nighttime and moves slowly out of respect. The torch crackles once, then settles again, its flame bending slightly as if nodding. You might imagine lowering a bucket into the well, slowly, carefully, listening as the rope slides through your hands, rough but familiar, guiding the bucket downward into the cool darkness. The descent feels unhurried. There is no rush. The bucket meets the water with a quiet splash, and for a moment, tiny ripples spread across the surface far below, then fade, returning the water to its mirror-like calm. As you gently draw the bucket back up, you may notice how peaceful the movement feels, how repetitive and soothing, how every motion is predictable and safe. This is the rhythm of the castle at rest. This is the rhythm of the night. And as you stand beside the well, holding the bucket, feeling the faint weight of water, you might begin to feel that same calm weight settling gently through your body, grounding you, anchoring you to this moment. There is nothing else to do tonight, nothing else to think about. Only the quiet presence of stone, water, and soft torchlight. The well has no expectations. It simply exists, and you are allowed to simply exist too. As your breathing slows even further, the space around you seems to grow softer, quieter, like a blanket of silence being carefully placed over the world. The torchlight dims just a little, not going out, just lowering, becoming gentler. The water below remains still, patient, eternal, and you feel safe enough to let go, just a little more. Just rest here for now, beside the castle well at midnight, listening to the hush of stone and water as the night watches over you. The well chamber seems to breathe with you now, expanding and softening with each slow inhale, settling deeper with each unhurried exhale. The stones no longer feel cold, only steady, like the calm presence of something that has never needed to hurry. Our story now drifts a little deeper into the castle's memory. Long before this midnight moment, before you arrived here to rest, the well listened to countless quiet scenes. It listened to whispered conversations spoken late at night, voices low and careful. It listened to the soft clink of armor removed after long watches, the tired sighs of guards leaning briefly against the wall. It listened to the splash of buckets and the gentle hum of lullabies sung by servants drawing water for morning bread. The well remembers everything, but it does not cling to anything. It holds memory the way water holds moonlight, briefly, softly, without tension. As you stand here, you may imagine the moon directly overhead now, far above the castle towers, its pale light slipping down through hidden cracks and narrow shafts, eventually reaching the surface of the water below. The reflection shimmers faintly, like a quiet secret shared only between stone and sky. Medieval builders understood something simple and wise. They knew that strength came not only from walls and towers, but from quiet preparation. A hidden well meant patience. It meant trust and slow things. It meant believing that calm endurance would outlast chaos. And here, beside this well, that belief still lingers in the air. The torch beside you releases a soft pop, then settles again. Its flame stretches upward, then relaxes, moving as slowly as your thoughts now move. You may notice your eyelids growing heavier, not forcing them closed, just allowing gravity to do what it naturally does. Just as water naturally settles, just as night naturally deepens. Somewhere deep within the castle, a wooden beam shifts slightly, responding to the cooling air. The sound is gentle, familiar, like an old house adjusting itself before sleep. You might imagine sitting down now, resting on a smooth stone ledge near the well, feeling its solid support beneath you. The stone does not demand anything from you. It does not ask you to stay awake. It simply holds you. As you rest, your breathing becomes so slow it almost feels like the well itself is breathing through you. In and out, each breath smoothing the edges of the day, rounding them off until nothing sharp remains. The water below is perfectly still now. No ripples, no movement, just quiet depth. In medieval times, water drawn from a castle well was often cold and clear, protected from surface heat and contamination. This depth kept it pure, reliable, calm. And as you imagine that cool clarity, you may feel a similar clarity settling in your mind, washing away leftover thoughts without effort. There is no need to think them away. They simply drift downward like pebbles sinking into water, disappearing quietly into depth. The castle above continues its slow sleep. Tapestries hang unmoving, shields rest against walls, boots sit neatly by doors, forgotten until morning. Even the mice know this hour belongs to stillness. The night outside thickens, wrapping the castle in silence, while inside, the well chamber remains unchanged, a pocket of peace held in stone. You may begin to feel that you are no longer standing beside the well, but floating gently near it, as if supported by the calm itself. Your body feels heavier, but in a comfortable way, like being tucked under a warm blanket, while the room remains cool and quiet. The torchlight now feels farther away, dimmer, softer, as though seen through half-closed eyes. The drip of water slows, or perhaps your awareness of it does. Plip, plip, each sound spaced farther apart, like the seconds stretching gently into sleep. And if any thought tries to rise, it finds no urgency here. The well has waited centuries. It knows there is time for everything, and also time for nothing at all. So you rest. You rest beside stone shaped by patient hands. You rest near water that has never rushed. You rest inside walls that have learned how to stand quietly against the night. Your breathing becomes a whisper. Your body grows warm and loose. The castle well remains calm and faithful, watching over you without watching, guarding your rest without effort. And as the midnight hour deepens, the story does not rush forward. It simply stays, still, quiet, waiting with you. The quiet around the well grows thicker now, like velvet draped gently over stone. Even sound seems potted, rounded at the edges, arriving slowly and leaving even more slowly. Time itself feels less important here, less structured, as though the castle has released its hold on the hours. Our story drifts deeper into the night. Far above the well chamber, clouds slide lazily across the moon. But down here, the light barely changes. The torch remains faithful, its flame steady, as if it too has learned that nothing is required of it except to exist. You may imagine the faint echo of footsteps from long ago, not loud enough to startle, only enough to remind the well that it has never been alone. Centuries ago, a young page might have crept down these steps, carrying an empty bucket, careful not to wake anyone. His movements would have been slow, respectful, guided by the understanding that nighttime belonged to quiet work. The well remembers his patience. It remembers how he paused, listening to the water, letting the stillness calm his nerves before returning to his duties. Just as you are pausing now, letting calm spread naturally, without instruction. The stone steps beside the well are worn smooth, shaped by countless feet passing gently, night after night. That smoothness is not rushed. It is the result of time moving slowly and consistently. And as you imagine running your hand along the stone, you may feel how reassuring that slow change can be. Nothing sharp remains, only softness shaped by patience. The air in the chamber feels cool and clean. Each breath you take seems to rinse your thoughts, leaving behind clarity and quiet. In medieval castles, wells were often placed deep underground to keep water fresh, protected from heat and noise. This depth created a natural silence, a pocket of calm even during chaos above. And here, now, that silence wraps around you. The torch crackles again, a small sound that feels comforting rather than distracting. It is a reminder that gentle life continues, even in rest, even in sleep. Somewhere, perhaps beyond the walls, a nightbird calls once, then goes quiet again. The sound fades quickly, absorbed by stone and distance, leaving behind even deeper stillness. You may notice that your body feels heavier now, not tense, not stuck, just pleasantly grounded. Your arms rest easily. Your legs are still. Your face is soft. There is no need to hold yourself upright anymore. If you imagine sitting or lying beside the well, the stone beneath you feels supportive, unwavering. It has carried weight for centuries. Carrying you now is effortless. The water below remains calm, reflecting faint torchlight and slow, wavering patterns. These reflections move gently, like thoughts drifting without attachment. They appear, shimmer briefly, and fade, just like thoughts do when you let them. In medieval times, water drawn at night was believed to be especially pure, untouched by the noise of the day. Whether true or not, the belief itself brought comfort, and beliefs can be powerful when they invite peace. So, you might imagine that the calm you feel now is especially pure, untouched by worry, untouched by urgency, reserved just for this quiet hour. Your breathing slows even further. In, softly. Out, slowly. Each exhale feels like sinking a little deeper into rest, like settling gently into a place that has been waiting for you. The castle above is fully asleep now. Even the guards on watch move less, their thoughts drifting as they lean against stone, trusting the walls, trusting the night. And the well continues to do what it has always done. It waits, it holds, it remains. You may notice that the boundaries of your body feel less defined, as if you are blending slightly with the quiet around you. Not disappearing, just resting so deeply that separation no longer matters. The drip of water returns, very faint now. Plip. A pause. Plip. The spaces between sounds feel longer, like pauses in a lullaby designed to slow the heart. Nothing interrupts. Nothing intrudes. If sleep wishes to arrive now, it is welcome. If it wishes to linger nearby a little longer, that is welcome too. There is no right timing here. The well does not measure. The stone does not judge. The night does not hurry. You are simply held in this moment, suspended gently between wakefulness and sleep, like a reflection floating on still water. And the story continues to stay with you, quietly, patiently, as long as you need. The well chamber seems to sink even deeper into stillness, as though the castle itself has exhaled and decided to rest fully for the night. The torchlight grows dimmer, not fading away, just becoming less important, like a thought you no longer need to hold on to. Our story drifts onward, slower still. You may sense the gentle presence of time passing, but it feels different here. Time does not move forward so much as it settles, layering calm upon calm, like dust settling gently on old stone. Long ago, when this castle was newly built, the well was one of the first things completed. Builders understood that walls could wait, banners could wait, but water could not. They carved downward patiently, listening for the faint promise of moisture beneath the earth. When they finally struck water, there was no cheering, no rush, only quiet satisfaction. That same quiet satisfaction lingers here now. The water below the well is cool and dark, but not empty. It holds reflections, memories, and the soft echo of every bucket ever lowered into it. And as you imagine those echoes, they blend into a soothing rhythm that mirrors your own breathing. In and out. In and out. Your breath is so gentle now that it feels like it barely moves the air. The stone walls seem closer, not closing in, but offering shelter, like arms resting nearby without touching. The temperature remains steady, comfortable, unchanging, a reminder that some places are designed specifically to resist extremes. This chamber was built to protect calm. You may imagine closing your eyes beside the well, knowing that even without sight, nothing changes. The stone remains, the water remains, the night remains kind. The drip of water grows softer, or perhaps your awareness drifts away from it as your mind begins to float more freely. Thoughts become less defined, less connected, like distant stars seen through thin cloud. If a memory appears, it drifts gently past, unexamined. If a feeling surfaces, it settles quickly like a leaf landing on water and resting there without sinking. Somewhere far above, a clockless world continues, but here no bells ring, no calls sound. Midnight simply stretches itself into a long, smooth ribbon of rest. You might imagine the well's rope swaying ever so slightly, responding to a shift in air, its fibers whispering softly against stone. The sound is barely there, just enough to be comforting. The castle has endured storms, sieges, celebrations, and silence. And through it all, the well has remained unchanged, offering water, offering patience, offering constancy. As you rest beside it now, that constancy flows into you. Your shoulders drop a little more. Your hands feel warm and loose. Your thoughts slow until they feel optional. The space between breaths grows wider, more luxurious, like pauses in music that make the melody feel complete. The torch now flickers lazily, casting long shadows that stretch and settle, no longer moving much at all. The walls wear these shadows like familiar clothing. Nothing new needs to happen. Nothing unexpected will arrive. This is a place of deep, predictable calm. If sleep begins to pull you downward now, you may imagine yourself lowering gently into the well itself, not falling, not sinking, but floating, supported by cool, clear water that holds you effortlessly. The surface closes above you, smooth and quiet, muffling all sound until only your breath remains. And even that becomes softer, slower, easier. You are safe in the depth. You are comfortable in the stillness. The castle well continues to keep its silent watch, guarding rest as faithfully as it once guarded water. And the night, content with its work, wraps everything in a final layer of hush. The silence around the well feels complete, rounded, finished, like a circle with no beginning and no end. Even the idea of midnight starts to lose meaning, blending into a timeless calm where hours no longer matter. Our story drifts further inward. The air in the chamber feels thicker in a comforting way, like a warm cloak placed carefully around your shoulders. Each breath you take seems to sink lower into your body, traveling down into your chest, your stomach, your legs, settling you more deeply with every slow exhale. The well is perfectly still now. No drip, no ripple, just water resting in absolute peace, as if it has decided this is a moment meant only for rest. You may imagine the stone walls absorbing sound completely, turning every echo into silence. The castle above feels impossibly far away, like a distant memory, while this quiet chamber feels like the only place that exists. Long ago, during cold medieval winters, castles relied on wells like this one when snow covered the land and rivers froze solid. Down here, protected by earth and stone, the water remained unfrozen, reliable, calm. Even in the harshest conditions, this place offered steadiness. That same steadiness surrounds you now. Nothing outside this moment can reach you. The torch has burned low, its flame shrinking into a gentle glow that barely moves. Shadows soften, blending into the walls until it's hard to tell where stone ends and darkness begins. Your body feels heavy in the best possible way, like it has finally been given permission to stop holding itself up. Muscles loosen without effort. The space behind your eyes feels warm and dark, like a quiet room where thoughts go to sleep. If you notice any remaining tension, you don't need to fix it. Just let it be, and it will slowly dissolve on its own, the way rough edges soften when submerged in water long enough. The well has waited centuries. It can wait a little longer for everything to settle. Your breathing becomes so slow it feels like a gentle tide, coming in, going out, barely noticeable. Each breath seems to carry you deeper into comfort, deeper into quiet. Somewhere far beyond this chamber, the night sky continues its slow movement, stars drifting patiently across darkness. But here, nothing moves at all. You may feel as if you are floating now, not just beside the well, but within the calm it holds. There is no up or down, no effort, no expectation, just rest, just stillness, just the quiet presence of stone and water sharing their ancient patience with you. If sleep has not already taken you, it is very close now, waiting politely at the edge of awareness, ready to step in as soon as you stop noticing it. The castle well does not speak. It does not need to. Its silence is enough. And as the story continues to soften, to slow, to fade into the background of your thoughts, you are gently carried into rest, wrapped in the hush of midnight stone, guarded by water that has never known hurry. The quiet has deepened now into something velvety and complete, like the moment just before sleep fully arrives. The well chamber no longer feels like a place you are visiting, but a place that has gently accepted you, as if you have always belonged here. Our story drifts onward, slower than before. The stone beneath you feels warmer now, having absorbed the quiet warmth of your presence. Ancient castles learned long ago how to hold heat and stillness together, how to keep calm safe inside thick walls. This chamber was designed not for beauty, but for trust, and trust feels very comfortable. The well water remains perfectly calm, its surface smooth and dark, reflecting nothing now, because there is nothing it needs to reflect. It simply rests, deep and untroubled, holding silence the way it once held moonlight. You may notice that your breathing is barely noticeable anymore. Each breath slips in quietly and leaves without sound, like a guest who does not wish to disturb anyone. The space between breaths stretches gently, pleasantly, like long pauses between waves. Nothing pulls at your attention. Nothing asks you to stay awake. In medieval times, castles were busiest during daylight, filled with footsteps, voices, metal, and movement. But at night, places like this well chamber became sanctuaries of stillness. Even the most restless minds found themselves quiet here, lulled by the knowledge that the walls were strong and the water was secure. That same sense of security surrounds you now. If a thought tries to form, it feels too heavy to finish. It drifts away before becoming clear, dissolving into the darkness like ink in water. The torch has nearly burned down to embers. Its light is now a low, steady glow, more felt than seen. Shadows no longer move, they rest. You might imagine the castle itself sleeping deeply now, towers and halls breathing slowly in unison, wrapped in night air and starlight. Even the wind outside has softened, moving lazily, respecting the stillness. Here, beside the well, you are completely sheltered. Your body feels distant, as if it has sunk into something soft and supportive, held without pressure. There is no need to adjust, no need to move. Everything is already exactly where it should be. The well does not measure time. It does not count breaths. It does not expect morning. It simply remains, and that remaining is enough. As the story continues, it becomes less about words and more about space. The spaces between sentences grow wider. The pauses become longer. Meaning gives way to sensation, and sensation gives way to rest. You are drifting now, drifting downward or perhaps inward, carried by the same quiet patience that shaped these stones and preserved this water for centuries. Nothing follows you, nothing chases you, only calm remains. And in this calm, sleep is free to arrive gently, naturally, without announcement. The castle well at midnight keeps watch, not with eyes, but with stillness, holding the night together while you sink deeper into rest. By now, the well chamber feels almost unreal, like a place made entirely of quiet. The edges of the space blur gently, as if the stone itself has decided to soften, to become less solid and more dreamlike. Nothing sharp remains. Nothing interrupts. Our story drifts even deeper. The last glow from the torch has settled into a faint, ember-like warmth, barely illuminating the stone, yet somehow making everything feel more secure. Darkness here is not empty. It is full of rest, full of permission to let go. You may no longer feel where your body ends and the stillness begins. The sense of weight has transformed into a gentle heaviness, like sinking into warm sand or floating just below the surface of calm water. The well is completely silent now. No drip, no echo, only depth. In medieval times, wells like this were sometimes believed to be places where the earth itself breathed, slowly and steadily, unseen but dependable. People trusted that as long as the well remained calm, all was well within the castle. That ancient trust wraps around you now. Your breathing has become so subtle it feels automatic, effortless, like the body knows exactly what to do without your help. Each breath is slower than the last, stretching time into something wide and gentle. Thoughts no longer arrive in sentences. They come as soft impressions, then fade before they fully form. There is no need to follow them. There is nowhere they need to go. The stone walls feel distant now, not because they are far away, but because you are sinking inward, drifting toward a quiet center where nothing disturbs. You may imagine the well extending downward endlessly, not as a drop, but as a peaceful depth, a place where sound dissolves and motion slows to nothing. The deeper you drift, the quieter everything becomes. The castle above is irrelevant now. Morning is irrelevant. Even the story itself is becoming less important. All that remains is the feeling of rest unfolding naturally, like a flower closing its petals at night. Your body rests. Your mind rests. Your awareness rests. The well remains timeless and unmoving, a guardian of stillness, holding the night in perfect balance. And now, there is nothing left to do, nothing left to imagine, nothing left to listen for. Only sleep, soft, patient, ready. The story quiets itself, fading into the same silence that surrounds you, leaving you floating gently in the calm of the castle well at midnight. At this depth of quiet, words themselves feel slower, heavier, as if they are sinking gently into still water before reaching you. The well chamber is no longer a place you picture clearly. It has become a feeling, a deep, steady calm that surrounds and supports you without effort. Our story drifts on, almost without sound. The darkness here is complete but comforting, like closed eyes after a long day. There is no need to see anymore. Everything important is already known. The stone, the water, the night, all of it holds steady, unchanged, dependable. Your breathing is so slow now it feels as though the space itself is breathing for you. In and out. Long, quiet cycles that stretch gently, like waves rolling in on a distant shore, barely noticeable, endlessly soothing. The well has no bottom now, only depth. A depth that does not pull you downward, but holds you suspended, weightless, supported by calm. You are not falling, you are floating, safe, still. In medieval times, people believed certain places absorbed peace over centuries, places untouched by urgency, places built for patience. Wells were such places. They were visited briefly, respectfully, then left alone to do their quiet work. That quiet work continues now, working gently on you. Any remaining tension melts away, dissolving like salt in water, until nothing remains but ease. Your jaw is loose, your brow is smooth, your limbs feel distant, warm, and heavy. Thoughts no longer connect to each other. They arrive as faint ripples, then fade before becoming anything at all. There is no need to understand them. There is no need to remember. The castle above is deeply asleep now. Even memory of it feels far away. The night has folded everything into itself, wrapping stone, sky, and earth in a single unbroken hush. Here, beside the well, or perhaps within it, you are perfectly at rest. The story itself begins to thin out, like mist dissolving into morning air, though morning feels very far away. Sentences become shorter, pauses become longer, silence grows kinder. You are drifting, not forward, not backward, just drifting, held by stillness. And as the story fades further, it leaves you exactly where you need to be, on the edge of sleep or already within it, wrapped in ancient stone calm, guarded by timeless water, resting at the castle well at midnight. At this point, the well chamber is no longer something you imagine with effort. It exists effortlessly, like a background hum of calm that never turns off. The stones do not need to be seen. The water does not need to be heard. Their presence is enough. Our story drifts on, barely touching the surface of awareness. The silence here feels complete, like a deep lake at night, smooth and undisturbed. Even the idea of listening begins to soften. Sounds no longer arrive as sounds. They arrive as feelings of safety, of steadiness, of rest. Your breathing flows on its own now, slow and easy, without thought. Each breath is like a gentle signal to the body that everything is fine, that there is nothing left to monitor, nothing left to solve. In medieval castles, places like this well chamber were rarely decorated. No banners, no colors, only stone, only function, only calm. That simplicity allowed the mind to rest, free from distraction. That simplicity surrounds you now. There is nothing to focus on, nothing to hold on to, nothing to let go of. Your awareness floats in a quiet space between thoughts, where time does not press and meaning does not matter. This space feels familiar, like a place you have visited many times before, just before sleep fully takes you. The well itself feels endless, not in depth, but in patience. It has no urgency, no expectation, no awareness of passing centuries. It simply remains, and in that remaining, it offers rest. You may feel as though you are sinking deeper into comfort, though there is no movement at all. It is the kind of sinking that happens when the body finally trusts the moment enough to relax completely. Your limbs feel distant now, as if wrapped in warmth and quiet. Your heartbeat is slow, steady, almost blending into the stillness around you. Thoughts have grown faint, like distant lights seen through fog. They flicker once, then disappear. There is no desire to follow them. The story itself grows quieter now, less descriptive, less structured. Words are no longer needed to guide you. The calm knows exactly where to take you. The castle well keeps watch without watching. The night holds everything gently. And you drift, deeper, softer, until even drifting feels unnecessary. Rest settles in fully now. The story continues, only if needed, but it is already fading into silence, allowing sleep to finish what calm has begun. The calm has become so complete that it no longer feels like something happening to you. It feels like something you are inside of. The castle well, the stone, the night, and your own awareness have blended into a single, gentle stillness. Our story drifts on, slower than thought. There is no effort left anywhere. No effort in breathing, no effort in listening. Even the idea of resting has softened into something automatic and natural. Your body knows how to sleep. It has always known. Now it is simply remembering. The well exists quietly, far below the surface of the world, untouched by weather, untouched by noise. Above it, centuries of footsteps, voices, and movement have come and gone. Below it, nothing has ever hurried. That deep patience surrounds you. Your breathing is so slow, it feels like time has stretched to match it. In, a long, gentle pause, and out, even longer. Each pause feels safe. Each pause feels complete. If there are dreams forming now, they do so quietly, without shape, without story. They drift like soft fog, wrapping you gently, not asking to be understood. The darkness here is warm and kind. It does not hide anything. It simply rests with you. You may no longer be aware of the story as words. It has become a background presence, like distant water or a faraway breeze. It is doing its work without asking for attention. The well no longer feels deep or shallow. It simply is. And you are simply resting. There is no edge between being awake and being asleep now. Only a smooth transition, like stone worn perfectly round by water over time. The castle above is silent. The world beyond it is quiet. Nothing presses in. Nothing calls out. Sleep is already here, or arriving so gently it makes no difference. The story fades further, slower, softer, until even fading feels unnecessary. Only rest remains, only stillness, only the calm of the castle well at midnight, holding you, without sound, without movement, without end. There is almost nothing left to notice. Awareness has thinned into a soft presence, like the final glow of embers after a fire has gone out. The castle well no longer feels like a place or an idea. It feels like rest itself. Our story drifts on, without direction, without need. Breathing happens somewhere far away, gentle and slow, as if the body has taken over completely and kindly asked the mind to sleep. Each breath blends into the next, forming a smooth, unbroken rhythm. The stillness here is deep enough to hold everything. It holds the stone. It holds the water. It holds you. Nothing slips through. Nothing disturbs. If there is any sensation left, it is comfort, warmth, a sense of being supported on all sides, like floating in darkness that knows you belong. The castle well no longer remembers sounds. It no longer reflects light. It simply exists in perfect balance, and that balance has become yours. Thought has stopped trying. Memory has loosened its grip. Even imagination has gone quiet. There is no story now, only rest continuing itself. The castle well at midnight remains, timeless and unmoving, but you no longer need to stay with it. Sleep carries you gently beyond words, beyond images, beyond awareness, and the story, having done its work, steps back into silence. The quiet has become complete enough that it no longer feels like silence. It feels like softness, like being wrapped in something that has no weight and no edges. The castle well is no longer separate from you. It is simply part of the calm you are resting inside. Our story drifts on without words needing to lead it. Breathing continues somewhere in the background, slow and steady, like a distant tide that never reaches the shore. Each breath blends into the next so smoothly that there is no clear beginning or end. The body has settled fully. Muscles have forgotten tension. Bones rest easily. Even the smallest movements have stopped, as if the body has decided there is nowhere better to be. The well does not echo anymore. It does not drip. It does not reflect. It holds stillness the way night holds stars, effortlessly. Time no longer stretches or moves. It has softened into something wide and quiet, something that does not need to be counted or noticed. Midnight has passed, but it does not matter. Morning is far away, and it does not matter either. Only rest matters. If dreams come now, they come gently, without shape, without story. They arrive like warm shadows wrapping around awareness until even awareness dissolves. The castle above remains asleep, but you are deeper than that now. Deeper than walls, deeper than stone. You are resting in a place where nothing ever asks anything of you. The story has thinned to almost nothing. Words slow, then pause, then stop trying to form. Only calm remains. Only rest continues. Only sleep, quiet, steady, complete. At this depth of rest, even the idea of continuing feels unnecessary, yet the calm flows on by itself, like water that never needs encouragement. The castle well no longer exists as an image or a thought. It has become a feeling of deep safety, of being completely held. Our story drifts on almost without presence. Breathing is barely noticeable now, like a soft ripple that never reaches the surface. Each breath arrives and leaves without asking for attention, without creating sound, without leaving a trace. The body rests as if it has finally remembered something ancient and simple. Muscles remain loose. The spine feels supported. The face is smooth and peaceful. There is nothing left to adjust. The well does not mark time. It does not count nights. It does not know centuries. It simply remains calm, and that calm has become your own. Thoughts no longer form words. They dissolve before they begin, like mist fading in darkness. There is no effort to stop them. They simply have nowhere to land. The night feels endless in the best way, not long, not short, just wide. Wide enough to hold everything and ask nothing in return. You may feel as if you are no longer listening at all. The story has slipped behind you, doing its work quietly, leaving you wrapped in stillness that does not need guidance. The castle above is irrelevant now. The well below is irrelevant now. Only rest remains, deep, steady, unchanging. Sleep has fully arrived, or it is arriving so gently that there is no moment to notice. Awareness softens, thins, then fades like the last glow of a candle finally going dark. Nothing ends, nothing begins, only calm continues. There is no effort left anywhere. The idea of listening has dissolved into simple being. The castle well, the stone, the night, all of it has faded into a single, seamless quiet that holds you without shape or sound. Our story drifts on without needing to be heard. Breathing continues on its own, slow and deep, as if guided by something older than thought. Each breath arrives gently and leaves gently, leaving nothing behind. The body is fully at rest now, heavy in the most comfortable way, supported completely. There is no awareness of edges, no sense of position, only the feeling of being held by calm itself. The well no longer feels deep or shallow. It no longer feels near or far. It simply exists as stillness. Time has released its grip entirely. There is no sense of before or after. Midnight, morning, hours, moments, all of them have softened into something meaningless and gentle. If there are dreams now, They are quiet ones, dreams without images, dreams without stories, just soft waves of comfort passing through awareness and fading again. The castle above is silent. The world beyond is silent. Even silence itself feels distant. Only rest remains. The story has done everything it needed to do. It no longer speaks. It no longer guides. It simply rests with you, then slowly steps away, leaving nothing but peace behind. And you sleep, deeply, comfortably, completely, as the calm of the castle well at midnight continues on without you needing to notice. At this point, even the sense of continuing has softened into something optional. Awareness has thinned to a gentle glow, like the last trace of warmth left in stone long after a fire has gone out. The castle well is no longer a place, no longer a symbol. It is simply calm, steady, unquestioned. Our story drifts on without shape. Breathing moves so quietly it feels as though the body itself has become part of the night. In and out, so slow, so natural, that each breath seems to happen somewhere beyond attention, somewhere safe and automatic. There is no effort in the body now, no holding, no bracing, no waiting. Muscles remain loose, as if they have forgotten they ever knew tension. The weight of the body feels evenly supported, like resting on deep, warm earth. The well does not echo. It does not reflect. It does not respond. It simply remains, and that remaining is enough. Time has completely dissolved. There's no sense of how long you have been here, or how long you will stay. That question no longer matters. Nothing needs to be measured. Nothing needs to be marked. If awareness flickers now, it does so softly, briefly, like a candle flame behind closed eyelids. It appears, then fades, without effort, without meaning. The castle above is beyond memory. The stone walls are beyond sensation. The water below is beyond thought. Only rest exists. Only stillness continues. The story no longer speaks in sentences. It breathes. It pauses. It rests alongside you, then gradually becomes indistinguishable from the silence itself. And in that silence, sleep deepens, settles, completes itself, naturally, gently, without any need for instruction. There is almost nothing left to describe, because everything has already settled into exactly the way it should be. The calm is complete. The quiet is full. The castle well is no longer something you are near or within. It has become the steady stillness that holds you without effort. Our story drifts on, barely touching awareness. Breathing continues somewhere far away, slow and rhythmic, like the deepest part of the ocean where waves no longer break, only move. Each breath happens on its own, perfectly timed, perfectly easy. The body rests as if it has returned to a natural state it remembers from long ago. Muscles remain loose. The heart beats slowly and evenly. The face is soft, untroubled, peaceful. There is no sense of listening now, no sense of waiting, no sense of self that needs attention. The well no longer feels ancient or deep. It simply exists as quiet reliability, like the earth itself, like gravity, like sleep. Time has fully let go. There is no night or day here, no before, no after. Only a wide, gentle stillness that does not move forward or backward. If a thought appears, it dissolves instantly, leaving no trace. If a feeling stirs, it settles immediately, like dust falling in air that does not move. The castle above has disappeared completely. The stone has disappeared. The water has disappeared. Only rest remains. The story has thinned to nothing now. Words no longer form. Meaning no longer matters. Everything that needed to soften has softened. And sleep continues, deep, undisturbed, effortless, as the calm of the castle well at midnight holds the silence perfectly. At this depth of rest, there is no longer a sense of movement or progression. Everything has settled into a quiet balance, like water that has found its level and will not shift again. The castle well is no longer remembered or imagined. It has become a state of being, steady, unchanging, deeply calm. Our story drifts on without form. Breathing flows gently, somewhere beyond awareness, slow and even, like a rhythm that has always existed and will continue without notice. There is no need to follow it. It carries itself. The body rests completely now, as if it has been placed down carefully and will not be picked up again until morning. There is no tension left to release, no signal left to send. Everything is already done. The silence here is not empty. It is full of rest, full of stillness that feels kind, familiar, and safe. It does not press in. It does not surround. It simply is. Time has become irrelevant. The idea of minutes or hours no longer reaches this place. Midnight has dissolved into something endless and smooth, like a single, uninterrupted moment. If awareness flickers now, it does so gently, then fades again, like a soft echo that never quite forms a sound. There is no need to notice it. There is no need to return. The story no longer unfolds. It rests, and you rest with it. Nothing more is needed. Nothing more will happen. Only deep, steady sleep continues. Quiet, undisturbed, held in perfect calm, as the silence remains. There is no sense of distance anymore. Near and far have softened into the same quiet presence. The castle well is no longer something beneath stone or hidden in earth. It has become the calm that fills everything evenly, without edges, without center. Our story drifts on, without direction, without purpose. Breathing happens so gently it feels like a memory rather than an action. In and out, so slow it blends into the stillness, as if the night itself is breathing through you. There is no need to follow it, no need to guide it. It knows the way. The body is fully at rest now, as if it has settled into its natural shape, the shape it takes when nothing is required. Muscles are quiet. The heartbeat is soft and steady. Even the smallest sensations have faded into comfort. Silence here is complete, but not empty. It is layered, deep, and kind, like thick blankets of quiet stacked gently on top of one another, each one softening the next. Time has released you entirely. There is no awareness of waiting, no sense of passing. Midnight stretches into something endless and smooth, like still water under stone. If a thought tries to form, it cannot find its shape. It dissolves before becoming anything at all, leaving only ease behind. Nothing lingers. Nothing returns. The story has nearly vanished now. Words arrive slower, then stop arriving altogether. Meaning has already done its work and stepped away. Only rest remains. Only sleep continues. Deep, steady, undisturbed, as calm holds everything in perfect balance, and the castle well at midnight exists only as silence, only as rest, only as peace. Everything has settled into a depth where even stillness feels natural, effortless. There is no longer a sense of entering rest because rest has already arrived and stayed. The calm is complete, smooth, unbroken, like a night sky without clouds. Our story drifts on, barely touching awareness. Breathing happens somewhere beyond noticing, slow and gentle, like a tide that never reaches the shore. Each breath is perfectly timed, perfectly easy, requiring no attention at all. The body knows exactly what to do, and it does it quietly. The sense of having a body has softened now. There is no clear boundary between you and the calm around you. Weight feels evenly distributed, like being supported on all sides at once. Nothing presses, nothing pulls. The well no longer exists as depth or darkness. It exists as steadiness, a quiet assurance that nothing needs to change, nothing needs to happen. Time has completely let go. There is no sense of earlier or later, no waiting for morning, no remembering the day. Everything has blended into a single wide moment that feels endlessly safe. If awareness flickers now, it does so gently, briefly, then fades again without consequence. There is no need to follow it. There is no need to return. The story has almost entirely dissolved. Words arrive less often, then stop arriving at all. What remains is the feeling the story was guiding you toward all along. Deep rest, uninterrupted quiet, comfort without effort. The castle well at midnight is no longer a place or an idea. It is the silence that holds you while you sleep. It keeps watch without watching, guards without effort, remains without movement. And sleep continues, deep, steady, complete, as everything rests exactly as it should. At this depth, even the sense of being here has softened. Awareness feels like a distant glow behind closed eyes, warm and steady, not asking to be noticed. The castle well has faded completely into pure rest, into a calm that does not move or change. Our story drifts on without needing words. Breathing flows on its own, quiet and slow, like the earth itself breathing beneath layers of stone. Each breath blends perfectly into the next, creating a smooth, unbroken rhythm that no longer needs attention. The body is fully settled now. There is no tension left to release, no position left to adjust. Everything rests exactly where it belongs. Muscles remain loose, the heartbeat is soft and even, the mind no longer searches for anything at all. Silence here feels complete and kind, not empty, not hollow, just full of rest, like a space that was made specifically to hold sleep. Time has disappeared entirely. Midnight no longer exists, neither does morning. There is only this wide, gentle stillness that does not move forward or backward. It simply remains. If a thought begins to form, it fades before it can take shape, like a ripple smoothing itself out before reaching the surface. Nothing lingers, nothing returns. The story has done all it needs to do now. It no longer guides, it no longer speaks. It simply rests beside you, then slowly steps away, leaving only quiet behind. Sleep deepens on its own, effortless, undisturbed, complete. And the calm of the castle well at midnight remains, steady, timeless, holding the silence perfectly as you rest.